we're back again with Erin's Conversations Over Coffee. I'm here with Eloide, so let's find out a little bit more about her. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a yoga teacher. I do that now online as well. And I'm also a language teacher, so let's say I'm a teacher.
So how did you end up in Colombia? Was it your original plan?
Yes, it was. How I ended up here is a different story, but it was always Medellin and it was always Colombia. So I started a world tour, one step on each continent. I needed to check South America. I do like coffee. Thought it was a good mix. And then looking closer at the map, I was like, all right, it's actually in the tropics. I like the weather there. It does border different countries, so if I want to travel, it's going to be interesting. And 4 years later, here I am.
That seems to happen to a lot of expats that come. They come with a plan of staying maybe 1 year, checking it out, and then here we are.
Here we are. So yeah, it's the global community here, like the digital nomads and everyone. We all come for like a couple of months at a time and thinking that, yeah, I'm going to go and check the next country after that. There's something about this city specifically, like overall the country, but this city, that just makes people stay. I think it's the overall easiness of things, the convenience, like you can have everything you want. Like apartments are easy to find, friends are easy to make. You can have a luxurious lifestyle if that's what you're into. You can also live on a tighter budget. You can have an adventurous lifestyle as well. You're surrounded by mountains. If you like hiking, you're still in a bustling city if you're a city rat. So yeah, there's a lot for everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of the best of all worlds. You have mountains, you have city, and there's a lot of opportunities here as well.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I love most about Medellin is the cost of living, and it really allows for a lot of possibilities. So did you come here with a job, or did you arrive? Were you traveling and then you found a job after you were here? So tell me a little bit more about that process.
So I specialize in winging it. It's just
in making it work.
Making it work. So the thing is, once you start traveling for quite a bit, you know that having a fixed plan is never going to work out. Like if you come with expectations, they're hardly ever going to be met. So I came here with an internship opportunity, not internship in the traditional sense of things,
right?
But I had signed up for a course at the yoga studio I ended up working for.
Nice.
But it started off as a course. Me as a student, they offered places to stay, so it was kind of like an easy way in.
Yeah.
And then of course through that community, I met yoga teachers, I met yoga students, and the owner offered me a job there.
Fantastic.
And it all worked out perfectly. That wasn't my plan at first. It was my tentative idea. I was like, yeah, of course, I want to go to Medellin and teach yoga, but didn't have a studio name, didn't have didn't have a plan per se.
How have you sustained your life? What has allowed you to kind of settle in here and make money and have a visa and all the things that allow you to live in Medellin?
So yeah, through the yoga studio, I obviously had a lot of teaching opportunities. So that was just money in hand very quickly. And then through the networking that I had through yoga, which was random, I ended up finding a customer service job in an LED lighting company. And that's what sponsored my visa to start with. So I didn't stay the 6 months as a tourist, sort of making money online. I was actually sponsored by a local company to work for them. And then, because as you said, I've come and gone. Coming back, I already had secured online teaching jobs.
Okay.
Through my language teaching versus the yoga. And that's what funded my coming back, being able to sort of settle back, try to figure out a visa again.
Right.
And then of course, pandemic. So online world now.
Everything is online. Well, that's the nice thing about teaching, especially in Colombia, is that, you don't have to work you don't have to work 40 hours a week, and you can still sustain yourself and live really well.
You don't, and the thing is through traveling as well, I have now a network over several countries. So I also have clients that pay me in dollars, I have clients that pay me in euros, and we know that the dollar and the euro here go quite a long way. So
it sure does, yeah.
Makes it easier.
So tell me a little bit about the cost of living here. For you, how has that been?
So it's always been, fairly easy. We have the privilege of coming from countries where we have a high purchase power coming here. Now, of course, the challenge is that once you settle here, you earn local money as well. So you have to adapt your pricing to lower hourly rates. But overall, it's very, very affordable. And once you get to know the city as well, you know where to do your shopping. You know how to find good things. And I think for me, the cost of living has definitely been a huge factor.
Yeah.
Just because, as I said, you can have a luxurious lifestyle for way less money than you would in any Western country. The best reference is like your lunching out. If you have like a special of the day, that's going to be roughly $5. $5 for a 3-course meal in a nice place. So that's, impossible to even consider in a lot of countries. I would say groceries, you're probably good with maybe $200 a month, and that's including a lot of things.
Yeah.
Apartment wise, of course, it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You can be on the cheaper end and having like $300 for your own place, even though that's relatively hard to find these days.
Yeah.
And you would have a very basic accommodation. But pretty much for $500 to $600, you're golden. It was a sweet place.
Again, there's just so many benefits to living in Colombia.
Yeah.
Sounds like almost like we're trying to sell people on living here.
Yes, but at the same time, do we want everyone to come here? It's always the big struggle.
That's true. We always say that Colombia is the best kept secret, so shh. So in Medellin, how do you find an apartment? How does one find a job?
So, of course, you would have a million answers to that, but I would say definitely apartment-wise, one of the best places, surprisingly, Facebook. You do have expat groups on Facebook that just have a lot of resources. And for apartments, everything is advertised online.
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot easier to go through these groups, through recommendations of people, versus you trying to go to a real estate agency where they actually ask for a lot of documentation and everything. So because of the huge quantity of apartments available, it's always good to just have someone that tells you that they know someone that has maybe what you're looking for.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Word of mouth for sure. And then for jobs, I still think that the meetups, the international meetups and all the exchange programs and events there are throughout the city are the best way to network. And then potentially, again, hear of that person that knows that person that happens to know that person.
Right.
And that's how you find most of your opportunities out here.
Then, yeah, again, that's something else that I love about Medellin is just the network that we have here, whether it's support through finding an apartment or finding a job or just going out on a hike on the weekend. You're always going to have people that are here to support you.
Yeah, and it's like to the most random requests. It's like you could be asking for, I don't know, a specific brand of something that doesn't even exist out here on Facebook. And you have 5 people being like, oh my God, I've had the same struggle. This is what I did. This is who you can call.
Yeah.
And it's usually out of pure kindness as well, which is very appreciable.
Yeah, that's something that I love too. And for someone who's looking to move abroad, maybe they're in the planning process, maybe they're, kind of looking at different options of places to move, what advice would you give this person?
So my first, and I think the most valuable advice for everything in life is, again, to not have too set of expectations. Just because things are going to go wrong at some point. It doesn't mean they're going to go bad. It just means that you won't be able to have everything according to what you have planned. Just give yourself some wiggle room in terms of the dates, in terms of how long it's going to take you to find maybe a job or the apartment that you want. I would always recommend having a monthly budget. Let's say you're planning on moving for 6 months at first. Plan the budget for 9.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know what might happen. Like, what if you have an accident? God forbid, but we never know. And then beyond that, I would always recommend having a minimal grasp of the local language. So of course, it might be more difficult according to which destination you have in mind.
Yeah.
But just because a little hello, the tiniest phrase can actually help you make connections a lot more easily. Mm-hmm. And again, it goes a long way here. It just shows interest. So of course your like integration within the community is just gonna, change drastically in the best way possible.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being here, Ellie, and sharing a little bit more about your story and how you made it work in Colombia. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Erin's Conversations Over Coffee. Tune in to TCI for more of your questions on how to become an expat.
But we never know. And then beyond that, I would always recommend having a minimal grasp of the local language. Mm-hmm. So of course, it might be more difficult according to which destination you have in mind.
Yeah.
But just because a little hello, the tiniest phrase can actually help you make connections a lot more easily. Mm-hmm. And again, it goes a long way here. It just shows interest. So of course your like integration within the community is just gonna, change drastically in the best way possible.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being here, Ellie, and sharing a little bit more about your story and how you made it work in Colombia. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Erin's Conversations Over Coffee. Tune in to TCI for more of your questions on how to become an expat.